on, everyone? Welcome to the Stock Market Morning Prep video for Thursday, July 23rd. Interesting developments happening yesterday. Well, first, we did get that move lower as we anticipated. That was due to Apple reporting. The world's biggest company actually reported and missed. Now, they were actually beating 19 out of 22 times. That's pretty good numbers. However, again, light on the iPad, light on the iPhone, and the watch was even a non-event, which they didn't even pick that up. So the markets sold off on it. Tech sold off on that as well. Yahoo didn't do quite well. Microsoft, actually, they were light on their numbers. So, where do we go from here? Now, we actually were down, but you know what? Apple held in there pretty well and is actually right now up in the after hours, in the pre-market, as well as the after hours yesterday. Now, why didn't it sell off anymore? Well, I'm going to show you a chart on Apple. But, look, $200 billion in cash. How much lower do you think it's going to go unless they really have an issue, right? That's also going to buoy the stock market. You got to realize that. Now, as much as I'm dying to see a beautiful correction, which is healthy for the markets. Why? Well, that's going to reset all the overbought readings, and quite frankly, a lot of these stocks are way overbought. Although they are starting to come in a little bit. We showed you the stocks above the 200-day moving average making lower lows and lower highs since February. So that's also moving lower. So interesting developments, though. So do we go lower or do we continue our trend higher? Well, I want to pay attention to Apple today. Be honest with you, today, tomorrow, Monday. I'm going to watch see what Apple does. If Apple can base and recover, I think that's going to put the buyers back into place of buying dips again. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned it yesterday. The TD Ameritrade CEO mentioned that his clients, the TD Ameritrade, are fully invested, which is a scary sight for the bulls. I believe I did mention that to you. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is we have this some sort of euphoric buying that's been going on. Now we're still missing a few things to actually call a market top, which I think may be happening in September, October. So I did some back data, did some historical research, and this is what I come up with on the internet here. You can see this is a picture of the 1928-29 Dow Jones Industrial Average, where it actually just plummeted. Well, this is a pretty good symmetry of this chart from the 1929. Here's the Dow Jones, okay? Now, obviously, we came back up above here. Where we are right now today, we're right up in this area. This was last year. So now we're back up in here in this area, which now, to me, is we're getting close for a market top. But what do we need? We need the seasonality, which that's why September, October may come into play. All right? We need the history, which we have here, which history does repeat itself. Right? And we need sentiment. Sentiment right now, and I want to get to that, is really not that extreme. Right? We do have certain gauges of sentiment that are extremely high, but the AA Investor Sentiment Survey is telling us that we have only 32% bullish, which to me, I feel we're gonna have one more spike up. And when we have one more spike up, that's when I think when we get this number back up to overbought, meaning in the higher 80s, 75, 80, even 90, then I think that the markets will have all it needs to call for a market top. And that's something that me personally, as a technician and trader, will not do until I see signs of what I just mentioned, along with price. And we need that capitulatory top with a large spike in volume and then a reversal the next day. Okay, when we have all of the seasonality, the history, the sentiment, right? We have all of that into place, then I could possibly see that we may have a top in place. And I think that may happen September, October, but we're still a little bit, early on making that call. All right. In the meantime, let's focus on what's happening in the next couple of days and weeks. So I mentioned, been looking for now some little bit of weakness going in for the next couple of weeks. So we did get that a couple of days, and I want to see if we're going to continue this going into next week. If we can get some weakness going into next week, and maybe even a couple of scary days. Once we get into August, maybe the first week of August is over, I see we doing a slow grind higher. Remember, thin to win, guys. There's nobody around. None of the big players are out in the Hamptons. They're Jersey Shore. They're doing their thing, going away. So then nothing's going to get rattled usually, unless obviously it's news driven. So the markets grind higher and maybe even push higher into new highs. That will start that September, October, that euphoric buying, and then we sell off. And so that's what I'm really looking at, the longer term picture. But I'm still looking for some season, still looking for a little bit of weakness. Maybe an up day, down day. But all in all, lower lows and lower highs between this week and next week. Okay, still looking to sell rallies until I see something such as Apple ripping to new highs and all tech starts rallying again. Then I'll change my direction. But right now, still a seller of rallies. Look at the IWM. You can see here. Yes, and the IWM's actually held pretty well, and that was a pretty decent sign that the market may be bought into the close, and it did kind of stabilize. So IWM now needs to get back up over it, and we need to start making higher highs and higher lows again and take out this 126.51. Apple. This is where the target is. Fibonacci from top to bottom here, 61.8% logical. I have a lot of guys asking me about Apple. This is where it's going to either hold or it's going to break higher. This is going to be the actionable area, 128, guys. Watch the 128. If we get to 128 and we hold on a closing basis, I think we have a shot to go higher again, okay? So just keep that in mind, all right, as far as Apple's concerned. If we do tag 128 and start to roll and fail, then I do think that we challenge the low. So that's what I'm going to be looking for a trade in Apple here, okay? Hope that helps. Spiders. Now we have, looks like really what's happening here, if we get a little bit lower into the 20, really just looks like believe it or not, a bull flag setting up here, right? Maybe another day of weakness, and then we get some sort of a bull flag here and then break higher. So this is why I'm not getting too overly bearish here. I don't mind selling rallies intraday, but I definitely do not want to be looking to short the market and hold the market short in the overnight, okay? So right now, looking to me, look like we're getting some sort of a bullish setup here. So let's just see what happens. Again, we need to break this bullish setup higher in order for us to obviously make that trigger. Okay. Take a look at the transports. Again, just an ugly chart, guys. There's nothing good about the transports, although it was up yesterday and then kind of started to roll over again. So a loss of this 20, we're going to tag this, and then, of course, this spike lower, like I've been mentioning, showing to you for the last couple of months here. Okay? Take a look at the diamonds. Again, just an ugly-looking chart. This is not even a bull flag. We're at the 200-day. That's going to be the next target. Below that, we'll tag this target, and then this will be the 172 area. Okay, so keep an eye on what the diamonds are doing. Most importantly, I'm going to be watching tech. I'm going to be looking at what tech is going to be doing, what's happening here. Very important. Once we break lower, and if we take this out, then I think the 20-day moving average, look, if we can get back into this area here, back inside it, let it base a little bit, then I do think that we'll challenge that high again or make new highs before we get that capitulatory sell-off we're looking for down the road. Hope it helps, guys. Hope you're having a great day today trading. Remember, guys, always use your stops and make sure you do your own analysis and make sure it agrees with what you're doing, okay? Have a great day. We'll speak to you tomorrow. Take care.